Am I in sync? Yeah? Am I in sync? Let's see. Let's see. Am I in sync? It's worse! Well, my audio interface. Oh, I wonder. Let me try this. Let me try this. Properties. Cam link. No, that's the one. Audio input capture. I'm going to do this. We're going to do this together. It's going to be great. Okay, remove. Let's see. All right. Now, what do you think? Who's going to break it? Now it's silent. Yeah, I know. It's because I was doing my thing. But try that. See if that works. And I'll start this again while we're at it. Start my ambient world again. So, half a sec off. Well, here's the thing, guys. I don't know how to fix it. So if it bothers you enough to be irritating to the point of not watching, I totally understand. But I would rather answer questions and not have to solve this because I don't know. I don't know. I will not worry about it. All right. So let's get some more questions here. All right. It's fun, someone says. You can change the delay on the OBS settings. I don't know how to do it, man. I don't want to know how to do it either. Here we are. Delay the cam. I'm not going to worry about it now. So any further things about the lag, I'm going to have to just, I'm just going to have to ignore in terms of our questions here. Okay. Any more plans for remixes like Newer Rain? Yes, I'd like to try and remix Synkestra, actually. I've got the files for Synkestra, and I've been hoping to do that. But it's all about finding time at this point. Let me just put this on loop. Let's see. Now listen, before I go on to the questions any further, I want to get a good loop for us, okay? My loops currently have been very much like my frame of mind. They've been jagged and scattered. So I want to make a good loop. So I'm not going to speak for a minute so I can try and create a loop that is musically nice for us to have as a background, right? So talk amongst yourselves, be about 2 minutes. down just a touch. All right. Where were we? For those of you who have just joined, yes, there is a lag. And I can't fix it because I don't want to. All right. Question time. When Devin has time, he's doing 2 albums and moving at the same time. Correct. And not only that, let me be clear, I just did 14 episodes for the BBC of the entire score for a kids show that's coming out. And that was an incredible amount of work. It was unbelievable. Some friends of mine put me in touch with a band, and I rarely mix bands, but I mixed a band too. And we're moving. So it's been super intense. And Puzzle is 2 albums, 2 5.1 mixes, 2 films, this crazy box set. We're doing the Devolution series, which means there's 4 albums that come out that I'm currently mixing. We've got 3 streaming concerts starting. First one we put out tomorrow, where I do Ocean Machine in its entirety. Bottom line is, it's been so much work. And the thing that is most annoying about it is the people that I should be participating with are you. Yet I've been lost in this work. It's been crazy. But here I am. So, with a lag. But it's probably an analogy for how things have been lately. Does a headless guitar mean your head is less in the music? Ba-dam, ba-ding, ba-da. It just made it easier to play on the couch. You know, because there's nothing bonking against the wall, which is great. Everything Debbie does has a delay, including the stream. You know what? That's like the type of excuse I could give for this that a 14-year-old would give for not cleaning his room. All right, so let's see. Dev, would you sing Phantom of the Opera? The Phantom of the Opera is there inside your mind. There you go. Where and when can we see the BBC thing? I don't know. It's a program that is just being worked on. It's called Colors. It's 14 episodes for kids, like 4 and under, where each episode describes a different color through sound and visuals. And when I first started, I was writing kids' music, and by the end, they were very adamant on me not making it kids' music and just doing what I do. I mean, it's not brutal, but it's a lot less like Tinker Toy music than I expected. And they filmed it really cool, so like Planet Earth style and everything. I mean, it's cool. Yeah, 14. Someone says, dude, 14, mind blown. Fucking rights. Between that and the move and the puzzle and everything else, it's been like, honestly, it's been insane amounts of work, crazy amounts of work. But I'm almost done. Can't keep me down, man. Oh yes, where and when can we watch it? I don't know. I think they're still working on it, but I'll certainly keep you up to date when that comes out. Debbie's going places. Yeah, not this year. I've been in this chair now for many months. Are you staying in Canada? For now, yes. Price estimate of a puzzle box set. Okay, so let me talk about this. I swear I'm going to stop talking about puzzle as soon as I possibly can. Puzzle box set. So, the audience has typically been super supportive for me by purchasing physical media, right? CDs and vinyl and things like that, which I appreciate incredibly. However, with Spotify and YouTube and all these things, my point of view on it is like, wow, there's no real reason why people would do this other than just to support the artist, which is great. So if that's the case, I want to make the physical product that we can present like awesome. So I'm spending $100,000 on making these box sets, and I hope it works, because the music's so fucked up that, you know, there's people that would probably just be like, okay, great. But what it is I'm thinking it's gonna be like about this big, and it's gonna be black, like piano black, like glossy, with all the little graphics along the side, like these digital mountains, and then it says the puzzle on the top in red. It's got like a magnetic clasp, and then when you open it up, there's like a 7-inch video screen, and my hope is that it can randomly play 2-minute videos from the animation and from the film. And then on the inside, so there's a graphic novel that's like 100 pages, that's really, really intense. There's a novel written by my sister, which I haven't read yet, but I have a feeling it's going to be really disturbed, because she really goes in for that. And then there's going to be a little beanbag character that's meant to represent the protagonist in this thing, which is like the inner child. And then around the perimeter of it is going to be 4 little plastic characters that represent the parts of the ego that are protecting the inner child. I mean, dude, it's so full of shit. It's like unbelievable. But I mean, this is where I was. You know, this is where I was. So I just have to answer a text because the real estate agent is like, we need a thing. Hang on 2 seconds. All right. On a Twitch stream. So with that box set, and then it's going to have 2 USB sticks. On the USB sticks are going to be 3 versions of each record, because they started from an ambient jam like this, and then ended up with orchestras and choirs and musicians from all around the world, and you know what I mean? And then it's like a crazy virtual, like, neural net. Like, it's like a Zoom call in audio form that's meant to represent this year, and the puzzle is meant to represent the chaos we went through, blah, 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 blah. But the box set is this crazy thing, and I mean, it's probably going to cost around $100. You know, I think our cost on it is probably going to be like $70 a shot, right? Is it worth doing? Anybody want something like that, or is this stupid? You know? Let me know. Dev, how is moving house affecting your workflow? It's not particularly easy. It's not particularly easy. Specifically when you add on that the BBC thing and puzzle and all this, you know, and all of this, it's pretty intense. But you know what? I also feel that to a certain extent, that's life, right? I can't let the pandemic stop me from achieving what it is that I'm hoping to achieve. And it's not like I'm looking to achieve, like I'm not trying to get a yacht or something. I'm trying to achieve honesty in the music. I mean, I love the music. I loves the music. And so when it comes into my frame of mind, I just want it to be as the best it can be, no matter what it is. No matter if it's Ziltoid or the Hummer or Alien or Synkestra or Puzzle or Empath, it doesn't matter what it is. I just want it to be what the vision is asking for. And so this whole pandemic, which has inspired a lot, of course, a lot of anxiety and all sorts of things, which is inevitable. And, you know, a buddy of mine listened to the work that I was doing recently. He's like, man, it's so crazy and so dark. And I'm like, really? That's a surprise to you? I mean, if you reflect your environment, this environment has been that. So that's it. So my plan to do this particular piece of work has been to get it out of my system, man. Like, just, I want a clean start. I want to start again, you know, in a golden land of opportunity. So I wanted to move. I wanted to shit this whole year out in a musical form and make it as far out as it needed to be. And then I want to start fresh and I want to make awesome songs. And so that's what I started in June. So yes, the move has been really, really, you know, amidst it all, it's really difficult. But I often say effort doesn't count. You can't claim victimhood because you've put in effort. You know, so if you do something that you've put a ton of effort in and people are like, yeah, I don't like it. It's not like the effort that you put into it is going to nullify that sense of like failure or whatever. It's like, yeah, Sometimes things take a lot of effort, sometimes they don't. And the move has been very difficult. Yep, woo! All right, so let's see what we got here. Telescopes are gay. Yeah, so when they cancel me, it'll be because of that video. 100, yeah. I don't know. People say you could sell it, the puzzle thing. I mean, okay. God, you see, this is what's so annoying about this project. I can't stop talking about it. Truthfully, though, this is the first time I've been at this particular stage of a project and been doing streaming. So this happens every time. So I might as well just roll with it. So I had a friend of mine who I respect the opinion of listen to it the other day because I was kind of like bent about it. I'm like, man, it's too weird. You know, I love it, but it's too weird. And he was like, no, it's awesome. So there's that. When do you know your head is fresh and clean again? Well, I mean, my head is fresh and clean in a lot of ways, but my environment hasn't been. It's been just full of chaos, you know, like as all of ours has. I mean, I can't imagine any of you here are just like, really? You guys have had chaos in your life over the past year? How strange. My life has been a dream, you know? It's not been that. It's been crazy for everybody. But I do feel like my head is clean. But in order for me to write with this clean frame of mind, which is there, I have to purge. That's just how it's always been. So that's it. Someone says, I bought Eras 1, 2, 3, 4 and would buy the box set. Well, thank you. I'm going to try and make it as awesome as it can. I had even thought, and this is something I have to check because there's 40 musicians involved, I thought it might be cool to include in the box set the stems, like the music, so that people can make their own puzzle. Because what I did was I wrote the piece of music and then people decorated it and then I put it all together, right? But it might be cool for the audience to have the same opportunity. So the box set includes stems. Maybe I have them condensed to a certain degree, like all the guitars in one place, all the basses in one place, all the orchestras in one place, whatever. But that might be a cool thing too, because then, you know, you can post it or do whatever. I would love it if people, because to me, the music for the puzzle, it's like a movie. So when you put it in headphones and listen to it, it's not like you listen to songs, it's like you're watching a movie. So you close your eyes and it's a movie. And I would love it if people made animation for it or made some videos for it. And I'm trying to do the same on my front, but I mean, I'm limited in what I can do. So maybe the video that will be on this will be more of an example of what it can be, right? All right, shut up talking about it, Dev. Stop talking about it. All right, someone says, I have to go now. Goodbye, see ya. Do you think we're about to see some incredible albums because of the pandemic? Absolutely, absolutely. I think that the art that is produced during times of plenty are maybe not boring, but it has less of an emotional component. And if everybody's suffering, thank you for the donation. If everybody's suffering in similar ways, not only will there be artistic temperaments like myself and many others that feel the need, like a tangible need to purge it, because I don't want it in my head. I don't want the chaos in my head. Maybe when I was younger I did, but I don't want it now. Like, no way, man. Like, that's not my goals in life. So I have to purge it, and there's no way I'm the only one. But what I do wonder is if the oddness of the music that will be coming out will be surprising to everybody. I mean, I know that what I've produced during this period has surprised me, so who knows? You should, after writing greatness at birth. I don't quite understand it, but I think it's a compliment, so thank you. What is your audio interface and MIDI controller? I have two audio interfaces. I have a Pro Tools HDX system, which costs a shitload of money, and then 6 years later you can't give it away. And I've got an Apollo 16 that I use for Logic and Ableton and my system sounds, right? It's the biggest problem with learning Pro Tools, like becoming really proficient at Pro Tools, is the Pro Tools hardware. It's, you know, Pro Tools doesn't play well with anybody. but I'm so fast at it. I'm so fast at Pro Tools that although I've been learning Logic over the past 3 or 4 years and I think it's brilliant, I'm just so, I don't have to think in Pro Tools. Like as fast as I think I can work. And so there it is. Any plans to resume the Empath North America tour? Yeah, absolutely. Oh my God. So they've been booking me on tours for the past year and then canceling them, booking them and canceling. But I'm just, you know, I'm here writing and recording, moving, BBC, all this stuff, until they say go. And then I'm on tour again. And I'm where it starts is anybody's guess at this point. It'll probably be the UK, just because their vaccination program has been really efficient, like they're ahead of the game. So if I'm able to get in there for Bloodstock, which I think I will, I'm supposed to headline it, and it makes no sense. Thank you so much, Sam. It makes no sense for me to not do that if I can get there. However, the vaccination program in Canada is like, it's similar to like France, where we just are so behind, right? So what may have to happen is I may have to either go quarantine in the UK or put together a British band for it or something. But if I do that and I can get like a vaccination prior to that, then I'll do acoustic shows while I'm there and everything. And in terms of North America, yeah, I still owe a Volume 2 tour. I still owe the finishing of the Empath tour. The last show we did was in what's Graceland, was where the last hotel I was, right? And I really, of course, but I gotta move first. I gotta find a place to live, man. It's a very strange thing. Chevelle's new album is amazing. Yeah, I hear that. In fact, the next record that I'm doing, whether or not it's called Light Work or whatever, I keep thinking it's going to be called that. And that's tend to be how I work. The name comes way before, right? So for whatever reason, that's what I get stuck on. It's the first time I'm actually using another mixing engineer in a long time, and I'm working with this guy, Joe Baresi, who did Tool's last album. So, and he also does Chevelle. So that ought to be interesting. I hope it works out. All right. Kiko Laredo from Lorero. That's reading it. I never realized that's how you pronounce it. I actually put all his solo albums online with separate channels as well, so you can play along with every part of it and make it better. Maybe you can put something like that. But, oh yeah, cool. The thing with puzzle as well, though, is it's not like songs. I mean, there's certain parts of it that are songs. You know, there's grooves, obviously, but I would like to be able to give people the opportunity. I keep thinking, make your own puzzle. I love that. So we'll see. Call Ackerfeld and do a collab now. I've done collaborations with Ackerfeld, and it ended up terrible, which is hilarious. Plus, Michael never answers his phone. You can't get him, like, we have the same management company, and Mike just doesn't answer emails. He just simply doesn't answer emails, which I think is fucking hilarious, and I'm jealous of it. But he's Mike, I'm Dev. Warning, Dev, they charge $1,000 or so to do quarantine here. It's cool. I gotta play, man. You know, it's my trip. It's one thing to be making music, and you know, in my own world, I actually prefer just being in the studio. But interacting with other human beings is something that has inspired me more than almost anything, because that's not how I would choose it. So touring is where I get my inspiration from, you know? More texts from people, holy crap. All right, so let's get some more. So your legs now smooth and soft. What? Excuse me? Let me just see this. What's funny is it says chat pause due to scroll, but it doesn't pause. It just keeps moving. What made you start using that goofy ball mouse on the computer? It's the best. This thing, I can move faster with this. Anytime I don't have this, I'm pissed off. That's not true. I'm not pissed off. But you may think it's goofy, but man, I move probably 10 times faster with this than I can with any other mouse. What would young Dev think of Empath, the puzzle, and where you are now? I think he'd think it was cool. I think he'd think it was really cool. Fortunately, in UK, vaccination is going very well. Yeah, no, this is what I heard. Unfortunately, in Canada, they do not. All right. Love the collaboration with Jason Beeler. Can you talk a bit about it? Yeah, I saw Saigon Kick when I was a kid playing Vancouver, and it really affected me because there's nobody at the show, and they put on a great show. I've talked about it before, but there was really a learning moment for me where I realized that even if there's not a lot of people at the show, even if things aren't ideal in terms of how you think the show should be, you still have to give it 100% for the people that are there, and that was a huge lesson. So when Jason asked me to be involved with it, I said absolutely, because I felt like, not that it makes a huge difference to him, but I felt like I owed him at least that. To say, hey, thanks for teaching me that when I was like 18, right? US is going to send Canada our supply of AstraZeneca, although it's not currently looking like the best vaccine. That's what I heard. Yeah, there's some problems in Europe about blood clots, I had heard, right? Okay, you don't owe us anything. Someone says, you don't owe us anything, Debbie. If you get back out here, that's awesome. I mean, maybe thank you for the donation. Owing is not the term that I would use, but I want to play for you. I want to do things for you because you do things for me. You know? It's like this isn't the 80s where musicians are in a different kind of tier than the audience. I mean, everybody's on the same team. We play roles for each other. The audience supports the musician, and in return, the musician supports the audience. That's how it works to me. So I don't feel like I owe you, but I just feel like it's the job, right? This is what I've chosen to do, right? Hopefully shows will be returning again soon. I do miss doing rigging. That's a dangerous job. Take care. Let's see. Or what is this? Or maybe the world stops bullshitting and just gets on with their shit. Perhaps. But either way, we're all having to deal with it. So trying to find a path out of that is, I think, more what I'm trying to do at this point than subscribing to any sort of ideology. Let's see. I'm having trouble finishing my album's mixes. I feel like there's something missing. When do I know it's time to let it go and finish? Just make a deadline. That's it. An album is never finished. You just have to abandon it at some point. There's words of wisdom. And they weren't mine. They were given to me by somebody who was much more proficient. So that was the thing. Oh, you're saying it to Violet. So are your legs now smooth and soft? Well, mine are not. Mine are like, what's the term? I've seen better legs hanging out of a nest. Yeah, this whole chat pause due to scroll is such bullshit. It does not pause. Fuck you, OBS. What was it like recording in Malaga? Very difficult. That was a very strange experience. I was young. We did Ocean Machine. We mixed it in Malaga, and the studio was shitty, and it was like very difficult. But I mean, part of it is interesting. What do you think of the band Swans? I'm not familiar enough with it to know and be able to be specific about it, but I think it's awesome from what I remember. I saw your open Q&A night in Birmingham, and it took you a few minutes just to play in the corner, and honestly, that was so cool to me. You played because you wanted to, and I respected that. Well, I mean, I love playing. I love playing, man. I love music. I love music. I just love it. I love sound. I love manipulating frequencies. I love the emotional connection to what those manipulated frequencies can imply, and I love being able to attribute parts of my trip and parts of my process and my failings and successes or whatever to those sounds, so I can have like a tangible document of where I'm at, and it allows me to move forward. Are you doing the writing illustrations for the puzzle graphic novel, or has that been delegated somewhere else? Yes, it's been delegated somewhere else. There's a guy in the UK that's doing it. His name's Mark Leary, and he works for Metal Hammer and all this, but he's done a great job, and he's done a very similar thing that I have done to the music to his graphic novel, where the theme, although from different circumstances, end up being applied to what the theme of the puzzle is, and he's really done a great job. I can't imagine having legs with inflatable turrets. You know what? That makes two of us. I think that if there's anything on this chat currently that I can relate to, it is my lack of ability to imagine having legs with inflatable turrets. Okay. I have legs like a bouncy castle. Oh, that's Violet. Well, very nice. Yes, I have legs like... Oh, I already said it. That's my one joke. I've been using that one. I've buried it for years. Okay, that is so true. I feel like that with architecture. My projects are never complete. At some point, you just have to cut it and live with it. Yeah, well, I think that the... Okay. I think that the problem with the pursuit of perfection in music or art or architecture is the implication that you're capable of achieving that. Which you're not. I'm not. I mean, I would have to be perfect to make a perfect record. And clearly, I am not. So that awareness that the work in progress, it is your life and your work, is exemplified in those mistakes. When I listen back to any record that I've done, I'm like, oh, there was that. Oh, there was that. There was that hang-up. There was that limitation technically. There was that thing. But at no point, even in the records that I wasn't as thrilled with the sonics of, at no point did I do less of a good job than I was capable of. There's sometimes where I've been more capable of doing a good job than others, but at no time was I like, oh, that's good enough. So if it didn't turn out perfectly, it's not for lack of trying, right? Wasn't it George Lucas that said that about that? They're never finished, just abandoned? Maybe. He mumbled it through a gray beard. These chats have literally been one of the few positive things. Yeah, with the move and everything, I know I feel bad that I haven't been able to be on here as much as possible, and I'm really going to try and stick to a schedule so that we can continue to do this. Really, it's been very, 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 very busy. Not even busy, because that sounds like, oh, I've been too busy for this. It's been fucked up. It's been fucked up. The lack of sleep lately has been really making it crazy, right? Hey, Dev, are you going to do more of the 5.1 mixes? Yeah, so I'm going to do Puzzle in 5.1. I would love to do it in Atmos, but I've already spent... You know, aside from the cost of the box set, Puzzle's already cost 110 grand, right? So it's stupid. I gotta cut it off at some point, knowing for what it was, right? Dev, we met in Amsterdam and talked about spirituality as brief as it could be, but you're one of the few out there that understood spiritual transcendence. Have you used COVID downtime to progress further past the only half there? I mean, I hesitate to say I understand spiritual transcendence. I'm not a religious person, but spirituality is, you know, the foundation for everything for me. Oftentimes when I say that, people are like, yeah, well, I'm an atheist or I'm agnostic or whatever. I'm not saying that I'm anything. I don't fucking understand anything, man. All I understand is, holy shit, this is awesome. So my spiritual practice is just meditation and gratitude. Because I think it's awesome and I don't understand anything. And music is a reflection of that gratitude. And so I try to do the best job that I can. What's your hand span, thumb to pinky? Okay, it's that. Huh? That's a big a hand, huh? It's like a huntsman spider coming at you. Don't feel bad. The stream is very appreciated. Oh, I appreciate doing it. I really do. Do you have any more plans or a desire to do and film any more big feature shows like Retinal Circus or Plovdiv? Oh yeah, it'll always be that. Yes, 110,000. Yes, I have spent $110,000 on the puzzle. On the most fucked up thing I've ever done. It's stupid. It's stupid. It's stupid. It's stupid. And the box set is another 100,000. So, but you know what? It's what the creative compulsions asked of me. So I did it to the best of my ability and completed it in the ways that it asked to be completed. And I don't say that in some weird metaphysical way. If you're an artist, you understand. You follow the muse, that's it. And it asked to be done a certain way, and so I did it that way. All right. Non-belief labels are usually pretty limiting. I don't know, man. I just think it's awesome. I think trees and the mountains and rain and all these things are awesome, and I don't understand it, but I'm floored by how awesome it is. When I look up at the stars, I'm just like, oh, it's amazing. So my spiritual background is just that. I think nature and the universe is absolutely unbelievable, and I'm so honored to be a part of this that I am quiet in the morning and the evening as a way of saying thanks for letting me be a part of this. Thanks to what, whom, whatever, no idea, but thank you. I think that's why humans are freaked out by spiders, because of hands. Yeah, he's coming at you. Do you see that video the other day with all those huntsman spiders up in the corner of that lady's house? I didn't have too much a problem of it. Oh, okay, so someone says the span is probably an 11th on the piano. Okay, well, let me check, because I got my keyboard right here. Oh, and somebody had asked earlier what my MIDI controller is. It is a Korg Cross, spelt with a K, because phonetically, keyboard, because it's weighted keys. But I don't use the interface, and so I don't use the sounds in it. Here, in fact, check this out. So what I've done with it is, it's hard to see, but I've got all the note names on it, and I've got a blue dot every time there's a C, right? So if I was to stretch from top to top, let's see, so I can go from C to shining C. Here, let me, you can't see it because of this thing. There we go. So here's a C with my thumb, and at the top of it I can reach a D, it looks like. So it's like 13 steps. I don't know. Anyway, that's where it's at. I think it's time. Is it more fucked up than Devlab? No, it's not more fucked up than Devlab. It's Devlab is just chaos. This is actually music, but structurally, it's very similar to Devlab. So I don't know if that makes sense, but it's like, it's not, there's certain sections that are like chaotic, right? But there's a lot of sections that are like, that's heavy as well. So some of it sounds like deconstruction or whatever. But how Devlab was, and the reason why Devlab was so important to me at the time is because I was trying to apply the same structural rules that I would use in a composition, like a musical composition, to noise, essentially. So if you listen to Devlab, there's ebbs and flows dynamically that I think make a lot of sense on a musical foundation, on a musical front. But that sort of one thought, that one consistent thought that was Devlab, is very similar to how Puzzle functions, I suppose. What would you do if you started music now versus when you started, with the difference in musical landscape? I guess you're referring to how would I get started? Well, that's an interesting question, because as I get older, I have less patience for certain things. I find Instagram really trying. I find it very taxing, because it just seems to be all sorts of people, like everything is about like the look at me thing. Whether or not it's playing or, people setting themselves up strategically to take shots of them doing some impressive piano thing, or selfies, or this is me in a gym or whatever. And it just seems really, like, even friends of mine who I see on there, I'm just like, I don't know you as this person. This is like a different person. And so I tend to be a jackass with Instagram, which is stupid. I shouldn't probably put any energy into it. But a lot of times I'll like scroll through the feed, because it's part of my work to like interact on Instagram, because it's, it's a great way to get things out, and there's people that follow there. But as I'm scrolling through the feed, it's just like, one day only you can buy our thing, or you know, here's a non-fungible token thing that we need to do, and crypto and all this shit. And it irritates me to the point that I'll go on Google and Google cat balls, furry cat balls, and then I'll just post a picture of a cat with his sack, just to be a jackass. And then, you know, and then people are like, why are you doing that? And I'm just like, well, I think it's because although I'm in my 40s, I'm still 15. I don't know. Now that the Quad Cortex is out and kicking ass, have you heard anything new from DSP about the signature? Yeah, I talked to them. So we did a meeting 2 weeks ago, and I ran through my guitar rig. And it's very, like, I've been working on my guitar rig for 40 years, basically. And there's so many issues that needed to be solved, whether or not it was honeycomb filtering. Yeah, it's not small. No. And there's a lot of things about it that I have spent years trying to solve. And the idea with the DSP plugin, the Neural one, is to not only give you all of those sounds, like an exact replica of the GP100 sound, an exact replica of all these things, but also I want to be able to separate it. So you can also have a killer Fender amp, a killer Marshall amp, a killer Mesa Boogie amp, and, you know, an assortment of pedals. And then my idea is on each page, there's a button. Maybe it's like a Dev button or a Ziltoid button, just because, you know, Ziltoid. And then when you press it, like, the whole color scheme changes, and then all my sounds get on there. Like, so it's also with the Ocean Machine sound. It's also with these sorts of things, right? So let's see. So soon, right? I'm reading here. You know what I'd like to do? I'd like to make another loop. We've had this one going for a while, so I'm going to make another loop. So just give me 2 minutes to do that. Let's go in D this time. Almost there. All right. Now we're in a minor mood. That guitar, like I've said before, even though I'm a frameless guy, Kiesel made me that. The guy Kiesel is a good friend of mine, Chris Johnson. He played with me on the Ghost show on the By a Thread. You know, when I first met him, he was working for Ampeg, and then he was working for Alvarez, and then Mackie, then EMG, then Dunlop, and now he's working for Kiesel. And so he just said, what would you like? And I said, I'd like something small that I can make an ambient guitar out of, and just put the ohm symbol on the 12th fret there. What's the point of using the whammy bar? Are you looking for spatial vibrato? Is it for the feedback? No, it's spatial vibrato. I just like, if you can manipulate the pitch, you know, maybe 10 cents in either way, with that amount of delay, it makes a note that's like this big, right? So that's what I do with it. What I would love, because I keep thinking about like that guitar and things like I would do to it. I want to put a sustainer on it. I want to put a boost on it that I could do like quietly, right? All right. So let's just see. Should have a 24/7 ambient stream. All right. Did you create the Helix preset with your name on it for line 6? Yeah. Yeah. In fact, that's what I'm using right now. The floorboard. It's really a cool unit. But again, it's like this weird thing, right? Like, because Fractal is my main thing. Framus is my main thing. But this year I got, you know, sent that, and I got sent to Helix, and they're both super inspiring to me. So I just make music, really. Well, by another viewer. Let's see. Let's see. I'm grateful for your gratitude. I hope that makes sense. It does, and I'm grateful for your gratefulness for my gratefulness. I love the ending ambient section of your Transdermal Celebration cover. Would you do another album or song like that? I don't know. Maybe. Let's see. Hi, I'm Debbie. What do you use? What settings do you make? You know what I do with making loops? I just piss around until I get something that's cool. So it's, you know, a bunch of delays, a bunch of reverbs, and a looper. That's it. Okay. Can you kiss webcam same time as me so it's like we e-kiss? I don't really like touching people. I'll blow you one though. My son has always been really critical. He's like, Dad doesn't like hugging. And I was like, no, it's yeah, stay, everybody stay. Are you in the Vancouver area? Yes, I am in the Coquitlam area. All right, let's see what else we got. I have to split to get my son from school. Hang in there, take care of yourself. Yep, drive safe, man. Someone says, can you blow me? The question only has one answer, and that is no, I'd prefer not to blow you. Thank you, though. Touching people, so 2020. Correct. Hey, Dev, will there be a Casualties Mark II? Yeah, I mean, we're working on it. I mean, on one of these streams, I showed you one of my hard drives and just what's going on, and I got so much music. So little time. This is why I want to get this move done. I want to move so then I can just focus again, and I can do my streams, and I can do my writing, and I can get the next record started, and I just like start. So last week I finished the BBC thing, and that just, it was just like a week of just 20-hour days, basically, just like bang, 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 bang. But my whole focus during it was like, get it out, finish it. You're not going to be able to move on until you get this stuff finished, right? So puzzle, BBC, all this stuff. It's just like, get rid of it, man. Grew up in Poco, someone says, miss it dearly. Yeah, Poco is interesting. Are you tired of heavier songs? Rocky, metally riffs? No, man, not at all. In fact, this next record I'm writing, I want it to be heavier. And there's some really heavy parts of puzzle, believe it or not. But, no, I'm not tired of it, no. Sometimes I just don't feel like writing it, but it doesn't mean that I'm over it necessarily, no way. Is the Antonio Banderas thing true? I guess you're talking about in Malaga, where him and his buddies needed to come by to use the studio. This is what I was told, but I didn't see him, so who knows. Let's see. Hey, Dave, haven't seen you since 2014 on Valentine's Day with Gajira in Montreal. I live in Vancouver now. Hope to get you see. Yeah, of course, man. Here's the thing is the pandemic has not put me in a position where I'm just like, oh, okay, well, this is great. I'll never tour again. I'm just waiting for people to tell me when it's time to tour. and then I'll tour. And until that time, I'm just writing. And you gotta roll with whatever changes occur in your life, because it's absurd to rue things not being what you want them to be. It just is what it is. So here we go. Okay. Anyone else kill for a Z3 album? I have considered it. Now, here's the thing, and I've said it on a number of occasions, but I'll continue to say it just because there's very fortunately new people that come into my world. I only write what I feel compelled to write. Ziltoid exists because I felt compelled to write it. It surprises me as much as it does anybody else when I write something. Like, I never know what's going to happen. I never know what's going to come out. I didn't expect Epicloud. I didn't expect Syncastra. I certainly didn't expect Puzzle. I mean, maybe I should have, but I didn't. So I'm a fan of these records to some degree myself. So I hope that Z3 rears its head. But I can't just sit down and write a Ziltoid record. It doesn't work like that. I have to be inspired to write it, or else it's going to suck. So I've got a couple of ideas for it, but it hasn't manifested anywhere further than that, right? Hope to see you in Montreal when this shit is over. Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Let's see. I won't lie, Dev, I'm not super into heavy stuff, but I love Hear Me on Empath. I'm really growing on heavy. I'm much less into it than I once was. But again, that's not something I planned. It's just, I still like heavy, but I don't need it as much as I once did, because that type of energy describes things that are, maybe younger in a certain sense than where I'm at, but not all. Your hoodie looks very comfy. Yes. Okay. So this hoodie, I bought it ironically prior to the Empath Volume 1 tour in Europe, just to be a jackass. I saw it at an H&M. It was $25 and it looked like a polar bear. It's like, dude, it's like this fuzzy stuff, right? And I bought it ironically. Yet during this whole year, it's become my uniform. It's the most ridiculous thing. This thing smells like a yak's balls at this point. But it's not me. I smell like roses, man. What else we got? Would you cover Perry Grip songs with Dirk Verburen? Sure. In fact, I've been talking to Perry. He set up a podcast between me and his buddy. I really like what he does. I thought his new Coffin Fish song was pretty good too. You say you got to be inspired or it's going to suck. I can't say I've heard any suck from you. Any example of something you did that you weren't inspired? No, anything I've not been inspired to, I just didn't release. I did a song with a producer in LA that I wasn't inspired and it sucked, so I didn't release it, right? Ever plan on releasing your version of your Bananas song? Sure. If you want it, I'll give it to you. It's not finished necessarily, nor is it that good, but my favorite fruit is bananas. Wash that shit, someone says. Yak. Nice. I do wash it. It just, I think it has taken on its own life. It now is just, infused with yak balliness. What is your favorite song to sing with Annika? Her vocals blow me away. I'm happy if Annie sings at all. We haven't worked together in a while, but it's not because necessarily I think the voice works on everything. I just sometimes don't really like singing. So having other people sing is great. Heavy is a heavy thing isn't exactly your favorite thing. I know that. Well, it's not because it wasn't the best I could do at the time. It's just I hadn't learned. Heavy is a really heavy thing was before I learned how, to get the sounds that I wanted and what direction I wanted to go in. It was a kid's record for me. I was 23 and I hadn't discovered a direction yet. So there's some of it that I like, but it's not like I was disappointed in it because that was the absolute best I could do at the time, right? So after your live album tomorrow, are you planning to put out the other 2 albums first or the quarantine stuff? So the next thing we're doing is we're putting out the show that we did prior to Halloween. You remember the quarantine show where we were in outer space playing the strapping songs with Liam and Wes and everybody? So that's the next one. So that comes out as part of the Devolution series. The one after that, I would like it to be the songs that I released on YouTube in the beginning of the pandemic, but like done, mastered and done properly. How's your kids' song stuff going? I finished it last week. How's the weather in Canada? It's that time of the year where you wake up and it's 1 degree above freezing, and then by noon you're boiling hot, so that's it. Have you heard much Imogen Heap? I've heard enough to recognize her talent. Moving and resetting tour rope flow feels like Physicist Terria era. Do you feel any resemble to that? No, the Physicist and Terria era was one that as a human being, I was a lot more psychologically unwell than I am now. I've been stressed and there's a certain amount of anxiety and all this stuff, but I'm not psychologically unwell now. Where back then I was like, maybe struggling a little. But in terms of like the practicalities of it, no, this is unlike any time for me. The whole DTP era, all the stuff with key addicted deconstruction goes, that era has now closed, and puzzle is the final part of it. The next record I do, Lightwork, will be the start of a new thing, right? I thought Empath was the end, but no, it was puzzle. I didn't know, right? So I'm only gonna do a couple more minutes because I got a shitload of meetings today and they just keep texting me. Let me assure you, once I get the move done, once I deliver all this puzzle stuff, once I get all this stuff out of the way, I really look forward to doing this more consistently. I've missed it. I'm announcing another streaming concert tomorrow. And it's absurd because when we first started doing this, I'm sure a lot of you were there. It was just us, I was in the corner there. That's where I was, all the concerts were like right there, right? And it was a lot more understated. And we did the shows for charity. I don't know if you know, but we raised almost 200,000 euro for charities because of those shows. But then everybody started doing them, and I'm not saying like, I started something. I didn't, but what I'm saying is that I started early. I started before a lot of other people did, and as a result of that, there wasn't as much expectation on it. But now I see that Korn and all these bands, but they're huge deals, right? They're like filmed like a Hollywood movie, and it's all like super over the top. And there's a million streaming concerts now. I personally, I don't know if I would go to them. I just don't know if I would. That being said, I start new ones. So the first one's going to be May 1st. And I figured that the best way for me to start would be to do Ocean Machine in its entirety. Like I had done at Plovdiv, Death of Music and Funeral and all these things. But it's just going to be me. And I'm going to announce it tomorrow. And, I'll do my best, and I hope that if you're interested in those things, you'd come along. But if you don't, I would understand, absolutely. But I'll announce that tomorrow. And then once all this stuff is settled down, I'm thinking maybe a month from now, maybe a month and a half from now. I got the BBC thing done. I got that band mixed. I delivered the Puzzle and Snuggle stereo mixes. I've got to have them in by the 29th, and the artwork. The movie, I got another month on that. The animation, I got another month on that. The graphic novel, I got another month on that. But after all that's done, then I'll be able to do this. And then, we'll see where we're at. Hey, Dev, it would be cool to see you talk and jam with Herman Lee. Yeah, of course. Have Herman hit me up. I'm happy to. I like Herman. Please, can you release Equinox demo on the Bandcamp? That was the one that I put up. Yeah, I love that song. I still don't know if I want to put that on another thing. I might just put that on the quarantine record. We'll see. Let's see. I'll answer 2 more questions, and then I'm gonna get back to work here. It says, I love the streaming shows. You don't have to do anything over the top. Just having us out is more than enough. Okay, I'll do my best. Do you ever miss your EMG into a 5150 sound from the early career? If I do, I just do it again. You know, I still have both, so it's cool. Well, I don't have the 5150 anymore. I actually gave it to Chris Johnson, who is the guy who gave me that guitar, so, you know. Well, I'll tell you what, guys, there's a lot of questions, but it's 12:59. I do have this meeting I got to get to, so I apologize. Thank you. Give me another month. I just got to get all this work and this move done. It's so much right now. But then we'll be back, and I'll start doing these more consistently. I like them. The concert I'll announce tomorrow. There's all sorts of things coming out. If you choose to support the puzzle thing, I really appreciate it. But if you're on the fence about it musically, listen to it first. I don't want you to have to buy anything that you don't like. Typical Canadian, apologizing for doing what he has to do. I don't think apologizing is that bad of a trait. Specifically if it's coming from the place of like authenticity. I think where apologizing becomes problematic is if people do it as like an autonomic reflex. Apologizing for things that they don't actually feel sorry for. But I do want to interact with people, and I apologize for not doing it more because I recognize that some people have mentioned that it helps, and ultimately my goal is to try and help. So there we go. You guys take good care of yourself. Please drink water. All right? I'll talk to you soon. Here I am ending my loop. This is Devin. I'll see you soon, okay?